Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Wherever in the world you're listening to this. We are in episode 3, baby. Okay, so this episode we're going to be talking from my 9-10 years old till 16. I'm going to stop in 16 because then afterwards I go through another of my parts of my life that were just crazy for me in transformation wise and brain rewiring the wrong way and whatnot, but we'll get to that in the next episode. For this one, we're just going to talk for those years, which they're pretty fun too, and a lot of crazy shit happened too, a lot. And there was a lot of repercussions of my personality and things that I did because of those years that had gone past that we've spoken about in episode 1 and 2. So anyways, I want to start with where we left off. It was in the house of horrors, where I lived all the abuse and all this kind of crap initially in my first 8 years of life, where it's like the years that your brain function, like, you kind of get developed and you build everything that's kind of going to take you for the next years of your life. So my mom, she moved from that house where we were living with our grandma. That was like my great grandmother's house. And we moved to this gated community, so like a condominium, in the south of the city. So the House of Terrors was in the north of the city. And I was studying in this really prestige school, which was a bilingual school because I didn't speak Spanish. But obviously my mom didn't have no money, so my uncles used to pay for it. So, it was really weird because I always felt like I was less. Obviously, I was in a school with a lot of rich kids, and I was kind of, I didn't have this stuff, like all the shit that I had. It was because I had all the cousins there too. It was kind of passed on from them. And, it was just, I was always feeling like I didn't fit in, even though I had lots of friends. Because I've always been very friendly and very outgoing and very out there, this is one of the things that I want to kind of point out and show, like depression and all this bullshit sometimes has this face, like a smile on our face, and we're out there and we're happy and we're this. It's just what's in here that's fucked up. But anyways, so we moved to this condominium. Oh my God. I did a lot of crazy shit there, and they did have a reason why, of why I kept, being like the terrible little kid and a little rebellious and whatnot. So I'm going to get to a few stories what I used to do there, which was fucking funny. Well, it is funny for me now, but I guess in that moment, well, it was funny anyways. It was funny. So we moved to this new place, and my grandma was there living with us as well. Obviously, my mom started to moving up in what she was doing, so she wasn't driving kids anymore. She wasn't doing that. She started putting makeup. She had the beauty salon. She had all this. She started getting big. She started getting really big within what she was doing with her beauty salon and everything, because she was really good at what she did. So we moved to this place, and this place was beautiful because, I was surrounded by all the kids, and it was so much fun, and we used to go out. And in that place, it was funny because I used to even organize the parties. Like we're talking 10, 11 years old, and I used to knock on everyone's door. I remember it's like, 50, 60 houses there, and I'll knock on the door, and I'll call this place that was called Banana Productions. And I'll organize parties, yeah? It's like, please, can you please give us money? We're going to do like a Saturday party and da-da-da, whatever. But I was never allowed to stay more than 12 o'clock at night. Like, I was like Cinderella. At 12 o'clock, that clock goes and all your magic just falls off. That's what they used to say to me. Like, you have to be here at 12 because you're like Cinderella. Like, your magic goes away and everyone's going to see who you are. Like, that was the whole rephrase. Which now I think about, I'm like, that was fucked up. Because it was feeding into me not belonging, into putting a mask, into all this kind of bullshit, yeah? You would say, oh, why? But it does, unconsciously. Your brain picks up in certain patterns, certain things, and just feeds from it. Oh, okay, so that is my story, like I have a mask on, I have all this, and then they could see the real me, so run. And this part is funny because my grandma used to put on these like pajamas, yeah, they were like a one skirt kind of thing, and like she used to like put it up and you could see almost her ass hanging out, and she would come out for those 50, 60 houses screaming my name for me to go in, because I didn't want to be in the house. I was by myself. What the fuck am I going to do by myself? So I wanted to be with my friends, and I wanted to, you know, shit, stop, just stay there. She'll come out, Rosalinda! Rosalinda! And it was fucked up because I would hear her and I go, fuck, I have to hide. And I used to hide underneath beds and like underneath shit, and like people, you know, like they would cover me, and it was just, for me, it became a kind of a game. But it became really aggressive. So one time, and I still laugh with her because she's still a friend. Well, she's not a friend, but you know, we still kind of, sometimes we talked about this, and she goes, she was just standing there, you know, from the back, and for some reason she looked like me, like from the back. She was skinny, she was little, she had the same type of hair, same length, and my grandma whipped her. She grabbed her, with that fucking culicagada. Culicagada is like, I don't know, it's what you call little fucking kids who are being naughty. And then she grabbed her and she looked at her, she goes, I'm not Rosalinda. I'm still laughing about this story because I thought it was freaking hilarious, you know, but it showed how much aggression and how much physical and psychological abuse I was getting in those ages. But I just took it with, you know, it's me being a little rebel, and like they couldn't handle me, so whatever. And I used to be a little boy. Like I never played with Barbies. I never wanted to do girl things. I always wanted to do sports. I wanted to play with cards. I wanted to play with like little remote cards. They were my favorite. I don't know how you said it in English, but like the little pebble things, and like, you know, I was just a little boy. Like I loved doing little boy things. And so anyways, in this place, but I was terrible there. Like I remember we even, because, you know, that place was so cool because everyone had like quad bikes and like motorbikes and stuff like that. So I used to like drive them, and like, you know, I didn't have the money. I didn't have that type of stuff. So I used to do my friends, well, my friend hasn't, so I'm just going to do it. And I was really good. Like I was tiny. Like I'm small. I'm 160. Like I'm really small. And I used to put those quad bikes in 2 wheels, mate. And not only 2 wheels, like doing a little wheelie, but put them in 2 wheels on the sideway. Like I was just, you know, I'm really good. I'm agile. I've got my thing. Cha-cha-cha. And because of me, they didn't allow, they were like, okay, this is not allowed anymore. You can't do them inside of the enclosed place. So you can't do it anymore in here. You're gonna have to, I don't know. First of all, they put this, the bumpy thingies. How do you fucking say that in Spanish? In English. Here we go. Policías acostados, but we're not gonna call them laying down police because that's not what they call it, but like over bumps, you know, in the street, go boom, boom. So they started putting that to try to get us to lower our speed down. When that didn't work, because obviously that would help me to do a bigger, how do you call that, like a kangaroo, like, they just said, you know what, like, okay, so Rosa didn't get the message, we're just gonna take him out of here. You cannot ride him inside of the gated community. You're gonna have to go outside, which was a little park in there, but you could see it from the gates, right? And it was just so sad because obviously nobody was at home to take care of me. So when all my friends used to go outside, I couldn't get anyone to call them and say, can you please let me fucking outside? Like I want to go and play with my friends, but I couldn't. So I started, I was a terrible, smart little kid. So I used to go out from what we call the chute, which is where you throw the garbage out. So there was this big room that everyone chucked their garbage there. But then because the garbage people used to pick them up, there was like a little window thing, like a little door. So I used to climb through the rubbish and climb through that door to be able to go outside. But I had to hide because obviously they knew that I was getting out, and my mom got told that she was like, you bloody pay attention to her. If she's there, you call me. So for that, they could call her, not for me to go out. That was so mean. But you know, I just became resourceful. Those years gave me so much of, I think, that my brain capacity now to be able to get things done. Like I don't see the problem. I see what's the solution? How do I get what I want? And So yeah, that was really interesting because, you know, it kind of, I don't know, it activated a certain part of me saying, okay, I'm not going to get certain things done. I'm going to have to take it on my own hands and do it. So another example is, we had this guy, they have like in Colombia, they have like these guys going with a little, it's like a little, let's call it like the ice cream truck, but in miniature. So they're walking, they're not an actual truck, they're just, you know, they walk. And I used to negotiate with him. And he would say to me, like, your grandma told me not to sell you any more ice creams, because obviously I didn't have the money there to buy it. And I was like, oh, come on, my grandma said yes. So I would like bet with them and like do certain stuff, and I would get these ice creams for free. Well, not for free, but you give them, you know, like, okay, your grandma's gonna pay for them. And she used to get so mad. It's like, how did you manage to get more ice cream? I keep telling these guys to not sell you ice cream, and for some bloody reason I would get the new one, or I'll get something, but I would get my ice creams. And I would go to get outside to be able to ride those quad bikes as well. Like I got whatever I wanted and needed. I just found a way. And I knew that if that wasn't the way, there was 1,000 other ways I could get it. So I became very resourceful, let's say. Anyways, in that place, you know, obviously my whole abuse stuff kind of was flaring up on me. So I kept, you know, as I said in other episodes, kind of, you know, like doing stuff with little kids and doing all this stuff. So I would hide and I would do, so it just became, I was like a little grown up. And even though I was like little, I started having, like, you know, my like little boyfriends here and there since I was like 12 years old. And this time was when I started drinking. So I was in this cool school that I loved. I was in the condominium, which I loved. So I had loads of friends here, lots of friends there. And then alcohol came to my life when I was like 13. And that was terrible for me. I remember the first time I got drunk, it was really bad. Like my mom had to pick me up. Like I was practically in the floor because I got so drunk out of one chunk. Because they passed me a drink that is called aguardiente, which is like anise kind of thing. And they passed it to me and I went, I've never drank it in my life. And I had like a big sip and that was it. I was gone. So they put me in this shower. They were putting like tomato in my mouth to try to get my alcohol down. My mom called. And then one of my little friends, she pretended that she was me. Obviously they knew I wasn't her. So they went and picked me up and holy crap, they gave me an ass whooping. And it wasn't only the ass whooping that I got, but the next day, my mom was like, you're going to remember this hangover for the rest of your life. And she made me go through that hangover that I wanted to die because it was so bad. It was like a terrible hangover. Like I still remember it like if it was yesterday. And she made me go to the beauty salon and stay in a white room full of lights. And I was just there with nothing because back then we didn't have computers, we didn't have phones, we didn't have anything. I didn't have friends, I didn't have anything in that moment. So I was just it was the longest 8 hours of my life. For me to remember what a hangover was. Apparently for her, I think that's what she thought, like, okay, like she's not going to drink again if she experiences this. Ha ha. I wish I didn't. But that didn't happen. So I started drinking from 13. Practically from that moment on, next to me, there was always a bottle of alcohol. They couldn't leave alcohol anywhere in the house or anywhere around me because I would drink it. I would go to school practically not drunk. Well, one time I kind of went overboard because I knew how much I could drink. Certain times I would just drink to get my courage up and to get my up. And then, okay, so bear in mind, so my first drink, I was still in this school, I was still living in this beautiful place when we had this occasion where I was in this beautiful school. I was living in the south already, and this school was in the north of the city. So it would take me roughly around an hour and a half to get to school. So it was a really long ride. And in that ride, I used to steal all the homework and all the stuff that I needed to do for school. So I didn't see it as something bad. I didn't mind it, you know. But this earthquake happened, like really, not like, it was a big earthquake. And I remember the whole school was like, okay, we need to get the kids out of here. Parents, come pick up your child. Da-da-da-da-da. An hour goes by, 2 hours go by. I'm the last one in school. And then this teacher, she was just waiting with me. She's like, what the fuck is going on? And she was calling my mom and calling my mom. My mom wouldn't pick up. She didn't know what the fuck to do with me. And then, you know, like my mom picked up and she's like, oh, I'm just with a client. I can't leave her, whatever. Like, and she got mad. I remember that teacher telling her, like, you come and pick up your child because she's the only one left here. And we need to do something with her. Like, please, lady, come and pick up your freaking kid or I'm going to have to drive her there. I don't remember if I got driven there or if someone picked me up or something happened. But I remember feeling, I'm not, like, you know, everyone got picked up by their parents. Everyone was there. Obviously, because it was so far, my mom never came to a presentation, to one of my things. And for me, it was devastating because I felt that it, you know, like I was just not worth the trip, or a client I needed to get a hair done was way more important than me. And it was just, you know, it was very, and it still hurts me sometimes, you know, and I understand that she did the best she could and blah, 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 and all this crap, but it's still, I was a little kid and there was so much abuse and I had been left by everyone. It was just, for me, it was really sad. So anyways, after that earthquake incident, my mom had the beautiful bloody decision of taking me out of that school. She takes me out of this school and then had the great idea, because someone told her. She obviously didn't know what to do with me, and she hasn't worked through her trauma, so she has this thing where she needs to get validation by everyone and she needs to ask people to see if she's doing the right thing, because obviously she didn't know what to do with me. Because I oversmart her, because a lot of things, you know, because I'm very smart and I was a little smart little girl. I was just using my intelligence for all the shit. And she put me into this kind of military school. Not a good decision, but anyways, it was what happened. So she puts me into this school, and I was still living in the condominium, in the gated community anyways. So, you know, the change was okay for me. For some reason, I came into this school being like, because I don't know why, I came in being like a little rebel and tough one, and and nobody's gonna bother me, and I'm in a new school, but I'm the fucking coolest bitch ever, so what up, bitches? It was like that. So in that school was kind of, you know, I went from hanging out with certain type of people to this one, hanging out with another totally different group of people. Totally different mentality, total socio-economical difference, like a lot of difference. And this school was all the way in the other side of the south of the city. So it was closer to where I was, but it still took me like 30 minutes to get there. And then, which I think this was a really shitty decision from her part, because that's what got me into the whole drinking really heavy, which was she took me out of the gated community and passed me into this house that we moved into, which she had the beauty salon, and then we lived upstairs. It was like a 3-bedroom, 3-story house. So the first one, she was having her business, and the second and the third one was our house. But it was a house and there was nothing else. Like, it was empty. It was like kind of an industrial zone. So there was houses behind us, but you had to walk like about 5-7 minutes to be able to get to those houses. So I was practically alone. So I got taken out of the school that I was already in a long time, kind of building again relationships and building all this stuff. And I got then taken out of as well at the bloody almost same time out of the gated community where I had all my friends. So for me, that was like a wipe off all the people that I had knew and I had built relationships with, and then start all over again. But these years in this house, it got really bad. Like really bad in the sense that I became using mostly was alcohol for me. Like I wasn't that much into drugs. I'm talking up to 16, bear in mind. But it got really bad with alcohol, and then I started smoking weed, and mostly me going out. Like going out, I used to go out with my uniform of school because I only could go out until 12 o'clock. I was Cinderella. my magic will just disappear at 12 o'clock. So I used to take advantage. I was like, fuck that, I'm not going to that house until 12 o'clock at night. Like, I'm gonna go out. However, I don't care how I look, I don't care what the fuck, I just want to go and have fun, and I want to get drunk, and if I get home, they're not gonna let me go out. So anyways, in this school was terrible because, you know, like, first of all, it was so different. They tried to straight away put structure on me and put rules on me, which have never been done. So it was me very confrontational with even the director. The director hated me. They used to have these speakers. They used to even have cameras in the bloody bathrooms. Like, this school is crazy. And they would call my name out, and they would call my name, like, they would put names into it. So they would call me like Rosalinda Margarita, and I would get so mad. I'm like, don't call me that, bitch. So it was really bad. It was really freaking terrible. And I was going out with this little guy. I was there, I think, about 13, 14, I must have been there. And this guy that was friends with him, he kind of fell in love with me, and he was a big narco. So he started getting me followed. He started like calling me when I was getting out of like the bus for the school and saying, hey, are you seeing that girl standing in your gated, like, I was still in the gated community. That was before I moved. You seen that girl there? Like, oh, she's going to beat the fuck out of you. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I used to run from the bus inside. I was like, what the fuck? Like, please help me. You know, it just became really dangerous for me in that moment. And again, Colombia is kind of dangerous. And if shit like that happens with narcos, they just don't fucking do anything. So they had to pull me out of that school and put me into another school. But this school was an all-girls school because they didn't want to have that issue, they didn't want to have that trouble. So they were like, you know what? Let's just get her into an all-girls school. That's going to be the solution. No. Because right next to us, it was an all-boys school. So obviously we would spend the whole bloody first recess like talking to them and doing all this bullshit, right? And you know, again, if I didn't get something, I always found a way of getting whatever the fuck I wanted. I became really good at sports, but it got to a point where I was like in 7th grade. Okay, so wait, I'm going to jump the boat. So I get put into this school, which I still have a lot of friends from there, and I love this school. But you know, certain things happened there, and that was the first school that I got kicked out of. I used to play even volleyball. I was in year 7, and I was playing with girls that they were in year 11, so I was like 12 and they were like 16, so you know, there's a big gap in that sense. And I couldn't go in the net, so I had to go over the line because I was so strong, because I'm really strong. And you know, people were scared of me because I was such a fighter, and I would stand up to anyone, to teachers, to anyone that got in my way. Like, I didn't care because everyone used to say to me, she's an elder, you have to respect your elders. I was like, fuck off. You give me respect and I'll give you respect. Because obviously I was getting whipped everywhere. I didn't think that grown-ups knew more than me. I was like, what the fuck? Like, they're fucked up in the head. Like, don't tell me that I have to listen to you. If you're respectful to me, I'm respectful for you. If you're not respectful for me, you're going to get it. I still kind of say the same thing, and I think the same thing. Like, if I have to get my angry little heart on, I put it on. I'm not going to go and fight anyone, and I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to let them get their rubbish thrown on me now. But if you step the line and I have to tell you, you're going to get up to here, I will do it. I have no fucking issue with it. But back then, I just wanted to demonstrate it. For me, it became, if people are afraid of me, they're going to respect me. So that was my kind of thing, you know. Anyways, I get put into this house and things just got out of control. I started drinking non-stop. In this all-girls school, it got so bad that one time I fell asleep because it was a Catholic school, and we were like how do you say that? Like when the priest stands up and says his stuff, sorry, and you know, they talk. And I was sitting there and I fell asleep, and the nun came to me and was like, Rosa, wake up. And the whole, you know, I smelled so much like alcohol because I had been drinking the whole bloody day, because I remember that day was kind of coming to my birthday, because my birthday was always in school holidays. So it was like the last day of school. And I got in a bunch of shit of trouble, obviously, because I was really drunk. And, you know, my grandma was really tolerant with me drinking. Like, she used to make me soups for the next day and put like a towel and for me in case that I puke. Like, she really kind of She was we call it alcahueta. So she was the one who kind of let me do all that type of stuff. Bear in mind, I'm 14, 15, 16 years old. So I started having sexual relationships when I was like, I think I lost my virginity at 15. Like, really kind of got into the whole sexual thing. 15, 14, 15. I think it was 15. It wasn't a really great experience. My first time, I was drunk and this little kid took a little bit of advantage. I don't know if he took advantage because obviously I was a really sexual girl, so I kind of always kind of have that debate in my mind of, you know, he was allowed to do it because I was drunk, because I was sexualized, but I don't think you are allowed to do this type of stuff. But anyways, that's how it happened. And, you know, everyone kind of knew, everyone kept gossiping. I was the worst person in my whole city. Like, I was the worst person. Like, people started, like, you know, moms were like, don't hang out with her. I wasn't allowed to go to places. If I was somewhere, I was like, what the fuck is this girl doing here? People would get out of the parties. It just became really terrible in the sense of, you know, I felt that I was shared, but I couldn't say, hey, I'm shared. So I had to put a front of an aggressive person of, you're not going to fuck with me. And I'm the cool bitch. And, you know, it got to a point where I knew so many people because up to 16 years old, so I was in a lot of schools. Shit, this is going to be messy. But anyways, let's just say how it comes. So then in that school, that all-girls school, that Catholic school, I think the director from there, she really cared for me, and I think she was the only one that kind of saw that there was something going on, that, you know, like we need to pay attention to her. So I defended this girl. This is the reason why I got almost kicked out. I was hanging out with this girl, and then I saw this really skinny anorexic girl, and you know, the girl that was hanging out with me went to hit her, and I remember I was standing behind the friend of mine, and I said to the skinny girl, like, don't worry, if she touches you, I'll fuck her up. Straight away, she just went, yeah. I slapped her in the face. So obviously what I say I do, so I punched her. Like, I beat the crap out of her, and she just screamed through the whole school, Rosa just beat me up. And obviously I'm well known. You couldn't say Rosalinda in Cali without anyone not knowing who the fuck I was. Like, I was the famous Rosa. I was the bad girl. I was like the troublemaker. Bear in mind that all this shit that I did in 2001 to 2003, which none of this used to happen unless in a city like mine, everyone is like appearances and watch out the family. And I was like, fuck that. I was just everywhere. And I had more fun. I couldn't miss a party. I couldn't miss something. I was like, no. So then they told me, you know, like, we have to kick you out. Like, we can't do nothing about it. Like, what the fuck, Rosa? And then, you know, things happened, and they were like, okay, so we're not going to kick you out. What we're going to do is we're going to give you another opportunity, but you have to pass the year. Like, if you pass the year, then you can stay. And I went, okay, but obviously I didn't study. I never did homework. I never grabbed a book. Like, I don't remember studying ever, but I would just pass them somehow. And that year I lost a year because of one exam. Like, I lost that freaking exam. And I remember the director, she was crying and she was like, Rosie, you lost the exam. I have to kick you out. I'm like, okay. I got in hot shit trouble in my house, obviously. But then the director told me, okay, so what we're going to do is there is this older school, which has the same level that we are on. Like, they have the same kind of, you know, level of education and whatever. You go to that school for a year, and then you can come back next year, and you can continue here. She's so lovable. Oh. And then I went to this new school. So again, I was ripped of everything I knew from all the friends and whatever. I lasted in this new school 2 months. That's when the whole kicking out of everywhere just started. I got kicked out 2 months after. And I remember I was sitting down in the director's office, and the Twin Towers were falling off. So that was the 11th of September 2001. And I remember I was going to go to Australia then. I didn't know the reasons until later. I always thought my mom just kind of got tired of me saying that I wanted to go and see my dad, so she just said, well, fuck off then. Bear in mind, 2001 I was 14. And obviously they couldn't send me because of the whole Twin Towers. I couldn't travel through America. All this bullshit was happening. So my trip got postponed until 16. Thank you, God. Because I don't know what would happen if I would have been 14. I think things would have been way different and way heavier than what they did. So then they kicked me out of this school, and they thought, okay, so let's just get her into this school, which is called an acelerado. So it's like a school that you can study like way faster. You don't have like a whole year. If you want to kind of do it in less of that time, you've got the responsibility of doing it, you can do it. Obviously, I had no responsibility. I had nothing. I used to take care of the fucking homework there. So why would they put me to school like that? But anyways, they put me into this school. And this school used to take all the bad kids, so from the city, yeah? Like all the terrible ones that nobody knew what to do with them, or they had some type of, learning thing or whatever, they were put in this school. They hadn't kicked out nobody. Like, they didn't kick out people from there. I was the first person to get kicked out. I think I got kicked out. I think I lasted in that school about 6 months. We still have a lot of friends from that school too. But I got kicked out 6 months later because I used to escape school to go and play sports. Like, that was my thing. I wanted to go and play sports. If I wasn't playing sports, I was drinking. Like, it was either or. That was my two kind of go-to activities to deal with my life. So then I get kicked out of this school and they put me into this other school, which then there was the end of the barrel. Like, everyone that was there were the kids that nobody wanted. Nobody wanted to deal with them. Nobody knew what the fuck to do with them. But bear in mind, now in that school, I am 15 to 16, and I was with kids in my grade were 12. Because I kept getting kicked out. I lost a year, and then I kept getting kicked out of like 2 or 3 schools. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 3 schools in the same year. So yeah, I was a little kid. So then I became the bad influence of everyone. Because, I was just the cool kid, the kid getting kicked out. Like, people would knock on the door of my house or come to me and go, can I be your friend? Like, it was like that because I knew a lot of people. And if I didn't know them, they knew who I was. So it was natural, I guess, when people wanted to know more people, and then just come and I'll just say hey to everyone, come hang out with me. And people always used to judge me for it, in the high classes and all this stuff. Like, what the fuck are you doing hanging out with that bitch? Like, that bitch, who is it? And I always was really inclusive. Like, I didn't care. Even with my grandma, when we were in this bloody house, and all the maids, usually they tended to be black. Like, it was what it was. And I would love to take them out to the shopping center and get ice cream with them. And she used to get mad as shit at me. You have to know your place. What are you doing hanging out with the fucking maids? Dude, I don't have anyone else. Like, you don't take care of me. What the fuck? So I have to, hang out with someone. So, like, what up? Let me go and get me ice cream. So anyways, I became really inclusive always. Like, don't judge, don't this, let them hang out with me. I don't give a fuck who they are. I don't care what they do. Because obviously I was so judged. I was so put down. I was all these fucking bullshit that I always wanted to stand up for the little one. I was the defender, mate, of everyone. If anyone was in trouble, come and bloody call me and I'll get the shit sorted. But it got to a really aggressive place, like a really aggressive place. So I started not only fighting girls, not only one girl, but it would be 5 against me. I would fight men, like boys. And just they didn't know what to do with me. It just got to a point that, it was just like, what the fuck is going on with this kid? We're just going to have to, like, I don't know, like, what the fuck do we do? Do we send her to one of these, like, things where they do military stuff? Or, like, what the fuck do we do with her? Because I would always squeeze in and get whatever the fuck. Or they would do something, or they would punish me. And, like, they couldn't do physical harm anymore to me because it was so much done that I didn't feel shit. I remember my mom used to hit me, or, like, anyone would see me, and I just sit there and just look at them and go, I feel no pain. Keep going if you want to hurt me, but I don't think you can hurt me. Because I just became this mask. So you're not going to hurt me. I'm that bitch. I am that bitch. And it was just so distorted, And I took that to Australia. And luckily I did. That helped me not to get a whole lot of bullies and crap done because I had to stand my ground. But a few years later, like actually a few years like, I'm 37 now, like I think I'm 33, 34. I was talking to my mom and I said, you know, kind of bringing all this stuff up because in my healing journey, I kind of brought everything up to the surface. And I said to her, like, why the fuck were you going to send me when I was 14? Like, you sent me at 16. I see 16-year-old kids and I'm like, how the fuck did you let her go to Australia by herself? Because she went, okay, we don't know what the fuck to do with her. Let's get her out of here. She wants to go and meet her dad. Let her. Like, let's just send her. And in that moment, I didn't speak no English because they took me out of my bilingual school and they put me into all these crappy schools. So obviously they didn't speak English. So I forgot how to speak English. I was just Spanish. I didn't know fuck all. Like, hello, my name is Rosalinda. I think that was it. And, you know, and in those years from 13 to 14 or 15, I don't know if it was a year, but if it was a year, like, fuck, a lot of shit happened that year. There's a lot of my memories blocked from that era. Like, I don't remember people. I don't remember certain situations. It's like somebody grabbed that memory box and just went, this is too much. Let's just leave it there. So I know certain things, but it's been, for me, it was really crazy seeing people. And I was like, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. And they're like, you studied with me for 2 years, bitch. What do you mean? I'm like, who are you? The fuck? And it still happens to me. And it's really sad that people rephrase to that era and I have no idea what they're talking about or experiences that supposedly they lived with me. And I'm like, it's gone, or people, or situations. And it's really crappy, you know, because I feel that I got stolen at certain parts of my life. But anyways, these last years that I'm telling you, 33, when I brought all this up, I said to Mom, like, what the fuck? Like, what did you send me? And she goes, Rosa, you were beaten the fuck up by 5 men and you were sent to hospital. You almost died. And I went, wait, what? I don't remember that. She goes, you have a scar in your head. And I started touching my head. It was so sad for me when I did this. I have like a thing that goes all the way from here to here, like a line like that. And it's bulbs. I'm like, what the fuck? They grabbed me with like poles and stuff. And like, cause I was tough. I was tough as shit. Like, you couldn't hold me down. Like, that was it. Like, I was strong. I was agile. I'm little, but I can, you know, and I knew how to fight. And I had so much anger on me that I didn't care. I didn't care. I was just like, bring it on, bitch. Like, kill me if you can, you know, because I wanted to die, but I never had the courage of taking my life away. Bear in mind, in those whole aggressive things and all this bullshit, just something just came up to my brain again. And, you know, I had a really, really difficult time with my grandma. Like, I know she loved me and, you know, all this stuff, but she was really fucking tough on me. And sometimes would say certain things that just you don't say to a kid. So I remember one time we had this stupid fucking glass of The Beauty and the Beast, and I took that bloody glass and I had it in my room, and she came like knocking, like, what the fuck is my glass and whatever, da, 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 da. And you know, she just started blurring out shit. So I closed my room and I could hear her saying to someone, because she always used to call the family and tell them everything about me. Like, they were super involved in, you know, the whole, what the fuck is going on with Rosa? It was like a telenovela, right? Keeping up with Kardashians, we're keeping up with Rosalinda. And she started just screaming, you know, like, your mom didn't have you, your mom puked you, like, she would vomit you. She didn't have you as a normal fucking child. Again, you're the consequences of the rape of your father, fucking this, fucking that, shitty little fucking thing. And I remember I was hanging, I had that day, it was like a really close day. I had a big knife in my room and I wanted to cut myself. I wanted to kill myself. Like, I was just thinking, like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, I'm a piece of shit. Like, what the fuck is really going to happen to me? And I remember I scratched my whole face and, you know, I was just so angry, and I used to punch walls and punch stuff and they even gave me like a punching bag and stuff because, you know, like, when I used to get so angry, I needed to feel physical pain to be able to get back into my center. And so that became my mechanism of defense. Like, if I was angry, I just wanted to punch something, or I wanted to do something, or I wanted to harm myself, I wanted to do something to come back to, okay, breathe and let's start again. So anyways, it got to the point that my mom said, supposedly she said, you know, it's too dangerous for her to be here. We need to get her out. So she arranged with my dad to receive me and make the beautiful decision. Well, I guess it was beautiful, because if I would have stayed there, I don't know how it would have turned out. But again, in Australia was really tough years coming. But that kind of brought me down a little bit. It changed my whole route completely to all this stuff. But, you know, there was a big shift and a big change there. But that's going to be left for next episode, where we're going to touch from 16 to 21. That's when the next era came up, where I started my healing journey, but as well was what like turned me off a little bit. I disconnected from the world in a way. So yeah, we are done with episode 3, baby. I will see you next Monday for more crazy stories about my life. Then we'll take it from there, wherever it needs to go. So again, thank you for staying. Thank you for listening. I love you all. And again, I'm doing this just to bring awareness of what a phase of depression sometimes looks like, and you know, to not judge and to have compassion and to have not even understanding, you know, or sympathy or empathy or whatever the fuck, but just mind your own business and live your own life and be aware of you and become a better person for you. Because yes, I went through all that darkness, but babies, I am an alchemist of pain. I grabbed all this bunch of pain and I put a bloody torch to it, and I'm transforming it into something beautiful. And my last message is, it doesn't matter what you went through. Fuck, it is shit, it is crap. I was a victim, I was this, I was that. But you have the responsibility of changing it. You can't keep blaming your past, because the past does not exist anymore. It's just here for me to talk, to show that you can live a fulfilling, beautiful, loving, peaceful life. I'm freaking happy that I can talk about this. I can share it with love. And yeah, I hope it helps someone. Again, I've had beautiful responses from these first 2 episodes, from people sharing their story. You know, and it just fills my heart with love and joy, and I know that I'm doing the right thing by saying all this. I know sometimes it can get a bit dense, but hey, here we are, and yeah, thank you. I really, really appreciate you staying and listening, and wish you a wonderful day, afternoon or night, wherever in the world you are. Bye.